you in ways I wish I could. Around the bending up your thigh, I would. Oh, the time comes, the time it always comes too soon. I wish that I could slow it down with you. I wish that I could focus, yeah. Just trying to navigate your skin and bones, trying to find my way back home. Forward to the edge, hands above our heads. Yeah, I came to collide, but you grip in case you just wanna fall back, babe. Yeah, I need you to love me like that, babe. Free and openly, my girl. 'Cause all this time we spend inside to keep it right, it hurts. So I communicate to those who know. I'm trying to find my way back home. Sometimes I need something that's so far from me, but if it's not meant to be, I gotta keep moving, keep moving. 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 Sometimes I need something that's so far from me, but if it's not meant to be, I gotta keep moving, keep moving. 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 Sometimes I need something that's so far from me, but if it's not meant to be, I gotta keep moving, keep moving. I put a spell on you because you're mine. You better stop the things you do. I ain't lying, I ain't lying. You know I can't stand it. You're running around, you meditated. Can't stand it, 'cause you're putting me down.
dreaming with the hope and possibility, throwing pennies down the wishing well. I'm hoping, I'm wishing for the male monkeys just to look at me. Look how quickly I can climb a purple tree. I'm a gymnast, centric mathematician. You should look at me. Boy, look at me. 'Cause I'm great, and I'm green, and I'm gorgeous. I'm everything that starts with the G. I'm goofy, I'm gargantuan. I'm going to make you laugh again. Got one smile and I'm gone, and I live in a horn. Oh, heart, still making a fool out. Almost days I feel so down. So I set him down and I said, look, one day you're gonna have to show me how you do that thing when you ignore your heart. One day you'll have to teach me how you do that thing when you forget about the sun. The sun, the sun. I'm the sun, boy. Look. Okay. Be in your retreat on a moon cloud in the sea. Now where I land, way down for my kitten. You're the one. So hide, oh hide, stop making a fool out. Most days I feel so down. Such a silly girl, full of me. Oh heart, stop making a fool.
Alrighty, hi everyone. Hello. Ooh, that was loud. Let me find something a little bit softer. Let's try this. Lo-fi chill. Okay. All right. Actually, I like this one better. Okay. Hello. Hello, peeps. How are we doing? How is everyone on this Sunday? I know, no dinner. You guys are gonna have to just order takeout. There's no, okay, this is like fucked up. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know Sunday is normally dinner and a movie where I pick a recipe.
Quan Cozy Coziest Stream.
I pick a recipe and then I cook for usually about 2 hours. That's how long it takes me. And then we watch a movie after. But I will explain in a second why we're not doing the first half of that. Skill Cylinder, thank you for the 14 months. Hogan, thank you for the gifted. Lovely Angelique, thank you for the 3. Katie, thank you for the gifted. And thank you everyone for being here. I still have not slept very much. My insomnia is worsening. And
Welcome back.
I flew back today from Austin, and I just couldn't get it together. I could not get it together to find a recipe, cook. Yeah, and I also wanted to talk to you guys. Bad Critic, thank you for the 9 months. I also want to talk to you guys, and I'm just letting you know. Normally Sundays are my day to chill, not do any of the normal content I do, but this is a very abnormal times that we're living in right now. And I just couldn't. Oh. Oh! Just cracked the shit out of my neck. I stretched earlier and I did something to my back. I don't have many more unpresent events left in me. Yeah. I've had a good 4 cries today. Yeah, I'm at the brink. I'm at the brink of being so tired because I physically cannot sleep. And I just feel this need to keep having these conversations as hard as it is. As hard as it is. And I totally understand those of you who are in here tonight like, oh God, I need a break. Yes. Yes, that is totally understandable. And I will say that later we will watch a movie for movie night to decompress and have a little mental break. But the first half. Do you know why you can't sleep? Oh, yes. Absolutely. Yeah, so it is a time where if you are consuming the news, if you are outraged and scared and sad, it is important to take mental health breaks so that you can keep going and not you know, and not just mentally break. So I'm trying to deal with resentment for friends that haven't said anything, but then I remind myself a lot of people aren't allowed to be political. Yeah, it was interesting because quite a few Austin streamers this weekend. I had conversations with them, and they were blown away by the horrible comments that they have seen directed at people like me, Hassan, Frogan, etc., just on the internet in general. And I couldn't believe how many, not couldn't believe as in like I thought a lot of my Austin friends just didn't care. I was surprised at how many were so resoundingly like, you are on the right side of things. Like this has been insane to watch. I can't believe people on Reddit are trying to say Hassan has donated the money to Moz. Yeah. Seeing Nick approach a serious topic was weird. I hope you made him less of a fence sitter. Yeah, we had Nick Mullane and I had a long conversation after too. And when they saw everything that was happening on Reddit, they were trying to get me through it. So, will the streaming with Wake and NMP be posted? All right. So I have a lot. I have a lot to talk with you guys about. Okay. Let me just distract myself a second. Katie, thank you for the gifted sub. Mark, thank you for the 5 months. Wobbly Potato, thank you for the 6 months. Bad Critic, thank you for the 9. Okay, so yeah, there has been a lot of targeted harassment. It's partly why I have You sound so weird, LMFAO. People have different ideologies. Okay, we're talking about being pro or against genocide right now. If you want to align yourself with same people, then do it. No need to cry online. Okay. Okay. Here's the thing. People are going to accuse my community in here and other communities like Hassan's of being echo chambers. And if an echo chamber means a community of like-minded people who, in this particular instance, are fighting for Palestinian lives to matter and to be cared about and to be talked about at all in mainstream media, then sure, I will gladly call this an echo chamber. If the people in here are more concerned with the lives of innocents who are dying as we speak, then bring on the echo chamber, truly. So you think the Palestinians are innocent and have never killed babies. You sound like a broken genocidal robot. And if your take here, and if anybody else, and this is just going to keep happening, but people who come in here, people who are saying things on Reddit, people who are coming into my, anywhere that I am found at all, YouTube, whatever, if you are more concerned with like trying to take any word of mine as a justification for death on either side. You don't care. You don't care about Palestinian babies. You don't care about Palestinian people. You do not care about them being wiped off the map. All you care about is being a fucking asshole. All you care about is trying to, like, stick it to me. A person who cares about all of these people. And I don't know how many times we can say, yeah, they're not coming from a place of good faith. These are people who have one goal here, one intention, and that is to have, like, some sort of gotcha. To try to say that I am some pseudo-intellectual. When all that I have tried to do in the last week is to advocate for a population of people who have been oppressed for decades and who are literally being bombed, murdered, brutalized as we speak. You have no empathy. You are just a soulless, craven, less than human being, honestly. And if you want to take some pleasure in me being upset for what has happened, then go ahead. You are less than a human being. These people who you think are less than human beings, they are not. That is you. And all I know is that when we look back on this moment in time, when this is written down in the books, I will at least know that I stood on the side of humanity and that I did whatever I could do to try and get others to care about their fellow human beings. I will literally never not advocate for oppressed people everywhere. Those who have been dehumanized to the point that there is gleeful justification for their deaths. Devil, thank you for the prime. All right, give me a second. Just need to fix one thing. All right, so we are gonna like I said, for tonight we are gonna chat. We are gonna do some coverage because I need to keep doing this. And then we will watch a movie afterwards in order to decompress.
Thank you for 1 year of covering the frontline causes that really matter. It's been great.
Luraneku, thank you for the 12 months. And then after that, I am gonna go, I don't know, maybe to dinner or a movie with Will. And then drug the hell out of myself so that I can sleep and keep doing the work that needs to be done. Comfy movie? Yeah.
I now look forward to this community every night, even when you lie about comedy roundtables.
I know I did lie a lot about that. Listen, there's nothing that I've said this week that is not the truth. But I did lie about many times about watching Comedy Roundtable, which we eventually did watch though. Thank you guys. Thank you for all the supportive comments. And I think what's tough too is that it's this kind of battle right now in my mind and my heart about having to protect myself from harassment, so that having to protect my mental and physical being so that I can keep doing this and that I can be a voice here. And then also feeling guilt over the fact that I had to temporarily take the VOD down. And I'm still deciding what to do with it. But the last couple days in particular have been have been a lot because there are, like I said, plenty of people who are more concerned with trying to catch me stumbling, trying to take any of my words when I speak for hours on end and make it into something that will justify their
5 months.
lack
I
of
really
care
love and appreciate your commentary, Kwa love.
for Palestinians. Like that's what this is. Dragon Army, thank you for the 5 months. If it makes you feel any better, I was really naive with the war and thought Israel was right with what they were doing, but after your stream with Nick, I did some research and realized I was very wrong. That's why I said, like, it only really takes 5 to 10 minutes of just initially looking into this. Like, if you just Google Israel apartheid and you see that Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International and all of these, you know, separate, unbiased organizations have labeled Israel as such, that's all you need to start with, you know? And then of course you can do the deeper work in understanding as much as you can the full history there, but it's not actually necessary. It's not actually necessary to stand just to, like, all you need to know is that Israel has been operating an apartheid regime, indiscriminately killing civilians for years, no matter if they peacefully protest. That's all you need to know in order to and to see what's happening now, to follow news sources that are not
13 months pog.
that do not have the stated goal of justifying Israel's actions. Like, that's all you need to support Palestinian liberation, right? It's simple. It's so simple, and it's frustrating that with all that, I have said that time and time again, that the moral cause for Palestinian liberation could not be clearer. It is so easy to stand in support, in solidarity with Palestine, because we stand against oppression. That's what we should be doing as human beings, not just as leftists, but as human
Free
beings.
Palestine lack okay.
And it's frustrating that
Keep
that
up
is
the
the
great
main
work.
point here. And in trying to go further into the history, so that people know, because so many of us did not know, that cause gets forgotten simply because I don't know every single fucking thing in the world. Simply because after, you know, in a 4-hour conversation, I might stumble here and there because I am not a perfect human being and I don't have the narcissism to pretend that I am some genius, some history, geography, political genius. It's insane. Night Creeper, thank you for the 3 months. Shunbound, thank you for the 2. Grizzly, thank you for the Prime. Sins Melody, thank you for the 2. Jen, thank you for the 13. Anonymous, thank you for the gifteds. Rig, thank you for the 3. Dragon Llama, thank you for the 9. They expect you to present PhD, and the thing is that even if I were Cheddar Cheese, thank you for the 2. Even if I were perfect, whatever that means, whatever that looks like, it still would not be enough. Because people who are looking to attack someone like me, anybody who's using their platform to talk about this, there is no way for me to be perfect. Because at the end of the day, I advocate for the freedom of all oppressed people, which includes Palestinians who have been under the longest apartheid regime that people aren't even aware of, that weren't aware of until this week. Doesn't take a PhD in history to understand what Israel's doing is wrong and illegal. Right. And so I think that's what I think Wake mentioned the other night you draw more fire than him for saying the same things because you're a woman of color in your proximity to Hassan. Yes, and on top of that, it's like because of me also being a woman, I am going to people who fucking hate Hassan hate me too, but on top of that will be like, at least Hassan knows what he's talking about.
Less than 3.
Oh my gosh. Hello everyone. Fish, thank you for the 2. Hi, welcome in guys. We had to put it in. What are we in right now? Let's take it off sub mode, but let's do follower only and maybe a 5-second slow mode. Nah, people that hate Hassan. Yes, no, I know that too. I'm just saying, like, it's the Hassan receives such an insane amount of hate, but there will still be people on top of that who will at least give him, as much as they fucking hate him, more respect. And this is what I've seen them say to me, because I'm a woman who's trying to say these things too. So,
Quan love.
Yeah, okay, so hi guys, welcome in. Normally I do Sunday night dinner and a movie to try and take a break from the normal content that I do during the week, which is a mix of pop culture, politics, type of news. This week, though, has been... I don't even give a fuck. I'm just gonna... I am tired. I don't even give a fuck. I'm gonna cry for the people of Palestine. And for people who are more interested in dedicating their time to harass people like me and Hassan and anybody else who is using their platform and their voice to stop this, to get people to care. I think I have finally broken, man. And I shouldn't feel ashamed of crying or thinking that this will be weaponized against me, because at this point it's like, God damn. What can we do to... What else can we do? What else can we do? I have tried to use... logic. I've tried to be rational. I've tried patiently to share the history. And now I'm at a point where all I can do is appeal emotionally and hope that...
Appreciate you.
And hope that people who just can't seem to get this, that there's a chance for them to reach inside and access any humanity that they have, any empathy, and like, who gives a fuck if I don't have every single answer? Who cares if I'm not, you know, a perfect representative? I'm just somebody. I'm just a person who's asking you to care. Just asking you to take a look at the situation right now and to call for if you are a United States citizen, to be furious that our tax dollars are going toward, you know, are continuing to go towards the violence that's being enacted on millions of Palestinians, which include so many children. And I mean, so far in my coverage this week, I haven't even like, I've stayed away from sharing like individual like horrific stories, but it's what's happening. It's not complicated, no. My fucking eyelashes are coming off. Farley came up to me earlier and he had one of my eyelashes on. I'm literally crying off my fake eyelashes. Oh God. I don't know. I think this is a moment where, like, because I know how cruel the internet is, amazingly so, even as I try to use my platform to just advocate for peace and for the safety and freedom of all. I've tried really hard not to be emotional, like not to display my emotions, because it's weaponized, insanely so. Like, insane that it would be weaponized. But I am at a point now where I don't have it in me to not show this side anymore. Thank you for everybody who subbed in the last 5 minutes. And for all the support that I know is in chat for Palestine. I know it's there. I mean, obviously you guys have been watching Hassan cover this for like 10 hours a day for the last week, which has been it has been so important. Hassan's crying was being used against him, but we all know how shitty he is at acting. Yeah, yeah, I thought that was a really pivotal moment, and it was a way for someone like Ethan to just take a minute and listen to what he was saying, you know? And even though, yes, that's been used against him, as I'm sure this is as well, like, it is important to show the human side here, you know? Like, there's only so many things that you can say, and, you know, explaining the context, and this is horrific, like, people are dying, that kind of stuff, you know? You can only use your words so much, and sometimes you just have to be a fucking human. So this has been a week where there has been and continues to be so much blatantly pro Zionist, pro Israel propaganda, and it is so disheartening when you see the leaders of the most powerful countries in the world, including the United States of America, who are doubling and tripling down on this, and like every fucking celebrity. But I do feel like there has been a shift. It's still not the majority, but more people are learning and are paying attention and are actually like trying to see past what they're seeing from like Justin Bieber or from MSNBC, who's literally like removing any Muslim journalist as a way to, you know, just do what we did after 9/11 to silence Muslim voices as they are being attacked. And I feel as if I have seen a lot of people here and on Twitter, like,
I'm so drained these days.
trying to use their voices and trying to voice their solidarity. And that is important. And I know Twitter's awful, and there's so much awful shit there, but I do think too it is important, like, for those of us who are on places like that, to be seeing people who are going, now wait a fucking minute, this is wrong. I don't stand for this. And like, I want to share this too before we get into some other stuff. I think something that I've been trying to focus on, you know, amidst the just pro-genocide propaganda, the videos of fleeing Gazans being blown apart, like just awful things that are happening right now. Something that I want us to understand is like how many pro-Palestine protests are happening in this country and around the world. Like, we need to see this stuff, you know? Sweeten, thank you for the 5, and Rune, thank you for the Prime. Thank you guys for all the support. I'm sorry if I have not individually shouted you out, but I see it and I appreciate you. Can you mod Fist and J Marion? So like one of the reasons why, oh sorry, my webcam's not even on. One of the reasons why I haven't modded anyone else in this week is because I've been trying to protect my mod team, especially in the last couple days. Like, I want to be clear that if anybody is going to...
Thanks for a year of great content about things that matter.
If anyone here is going to continue their targeted harassment against me, it's going to be against me. It's not going to be against my mods. It's not going to be against anybody who is in here to try and... you know, to try and help me cultivate a community that is on the right side of humanity here. So I'm just gonna say, like, right now, like this is also why I had to temporarily take down my VOD from yesterday, and I'm sorry if you're looking for that coverage, but there has been a lot. There's been a lot of harassment, which is what anyone's going to deal with when they are visibly supporting Palestine. Yeah, they're like rats. Actually, that's mean to rats. They're parasites. They're cockroaches. That's even mean to cockroaches. I don't even have a word. I don't even have a word for these people who are spending their time and their energy trying to find every way to send me a message of just pure hate.
Fight. We're with you.
Like, bro, if you're going to LinkedIn, you have a fucking problem. Yes, Maya says cockroaches are friends. Chloe, thank you so much for the 5. I mean it though, like if you, and then we're gonna look at all of these protests and support, but seriously, like if you were trying to find me through LinkedIn to send hate, you are scum. Yeah. Scum doesn't have feelings or redeeming qualities. There's nothing else to say about you. You don't give a fuck about these people. You don't care. You think that I'm the bad person here, that I'm the evil person here. You are trying to harass me through any platform that you can. Like, you fucking freaks. My God. No life, no job, no bit. Yeah, I know. Like, honestly, if I still had MySpace, you'd probably be trying to do it through that. Being on LinkedIn is bad enough, I know. Like, Hassan called him out for holding him accountable. Yeah. God, I mean, I just there's a real sick irony in people who are utilizing their time and energy during this week to go out of their way to harass streamers and anybody else who is vocally supporting Palestine, to go out of their way in any way that they can to tell us that, like, we deserve to die. You know? Yeah, you guys really care about the kids. You really care about innocent civilians being killed. Surely. Surely. And the best part is that they do it behind avatars, right? Some of them will have, like, their names maybe, but most of them do so behind a facade because they're so cowardly. They are just pure cowards. So young, you'll learn. You just feed them right now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I say something or if I don't, because they're gonna do it anyway. So I'm gonna take the opportunity to just say, from here to the ends of the earth, to every corner of this globe, go fuck yourself. Okay? In any way you possibly could. That is what you should do. You should just go fucking fuck yourself. All right. I'm gonna go get a tissue and then we'll go through this. So just hang in there. I'll be right back. I gotta put my eyelash back on. Okay. Okay. Uh, so, for people who came in through the raid, I was telling everyone before that we are gonna do we are gonna do some coverage, and I totally understand if you have been just non-stop consuming this all day, all week, that if you need to take a break, then you should take a break. Like, that is important. I'm confused about this. Are you getting hate because you're supporting Palestine? Yes, that has unfortunately been the case, not just now, but forever. That anybody who vocally supports the Palestinian people who are under an apartheid regime are going to receive hate because of how powerful Israel is and how powerful the government has been in spinning the media and utilizing them to their benefit. So people who even, listen, I also want to take the time to acknowledge those who have been doing this work for years. And it's something where this is the first year that I've had a space like this, and I've had a platform, and I have been using that. I've been aware of my privilege and also personal responsibility that I feel towards using my platform this week, but there have been people who have been doing this for years, and I don't want to let them go unnoticed. And this has been something that, like I said, it has not been the popular position to have for a long time because of how powerful Israel is. Because when you have one group, which in this case is the only one that is a recognized state and has all of the power, then that is who the narrative is going to be in favor of. R.I.P. Michael Brooks. Yes, Michael Brooks, and just people like Noam Chomsky and Norm Finkelstein and all these people that we've been watching many clips of this week who have been talking about this for a very, very long time. And then not to mention, countless Palestinian journalists and historians and just regular people who have been trying to get the world to care about Palestine. So anyway, I'm sorry. I don't even know what thoughts I've finished, but we're going to do that. And then we will be watching a movie to decompress. And then, I am probably going to, sorry, Will just texted me. I am probably going to go just do something with Will and, attempt to chill out. Okie doke. I've had my employer contacted over 10 times in the past week by anonymous individuals saying they're employing an anti-Semitic bigot who supports the murder of Jews simply because I've been to 3 demonstrations. Yeah, like I am so aware that this is not just me. All of you who choose to publicly support Palestine, to stand against apartheid and genocide, you are facing consequences, whether that is from whether that's from assholes on the internet or from assholes who are trying to have your jobs taken away from you, who are trying to endanger you. So that's why it's important that we stand together, and make our voices stronger, because This is the real cancel culture, genuinely. Absolutely. 100%. Like, let me just, something I've been really looking for
What you do is
are
difficult to
notable
pinpoint.
actors and writers who have been, who have obviously been speaking out about, about the labor rights, the fair wages that we deserve throughout the last 5 months of these multiple strikes, and this was issued by SAG-AFTRA, which is currently on strike, and it's been really hard to see because, God, I mean, I stand for labor and I stand against genocide, and I would hope that the fucking union I am a part of would have been the same. But unfortunately, the president of SAG-AFTRA is a Zionist. Yes. I was hoping that I would not see an official statement from SAG-AFTRA, but here it is. And so seeing people like Brittany Nichols, who's been very vocal during the strikes, she's a writer on, she is a writer for, oh my God, why am I, Abbott Elementary. And like, I am so proud that she, as a very, very vocal person during these strikes, you know, she's been quoted in every major publication, interviewed a million times, and she says, this statement does not speak for me as a member of SAG-AFTRA, and it's absurd to me to present this on behalf of an entire membership, as if people knew this statement was coming, had a say in it, or had the power to stop it. Disgusting solidarity, undermining decision. Kiro, thank you for the prime. Drip, thank you for the 9. Not Christian, thank you for the 3. I knew Fran said and did some shit, but I didn't know the union had an official statement. Yes. Let me click on it. So I am incredibly disgusted by this. I cannot believe that my labor union would have just the absolute gall to post something like this, as we have been out there for months, fighting on behalf of labor, on behalf of workers, on behalf of people who are fucking squashed by the powers that be. It's like, how do you not understand? How do you not draw a parallel between this? How do you not understand that, like, you know, this all speaks to injustice, to those who hold the power, trying to utilize their power to squash those beneath them. My God. SAG-AFTRA is the second union in the entertainment industry to release an official response. Paramount Global was the first major Hollywood studio to release an official statement. SAG-AFTRA deplores and condemns the horrific acts of aggression against the Israeli people on October 7th. Like, the thing is, guys, Sveeten, thank you so much for the 5. I appreciate all the subs right now, everybody. The thing is that to continue to put out statements and not call for an end to what Palestinians are currently facing. Airstrikes indiscriminately killing civilians, hitting hospitals, ambulances. We're gonna look at this in a second, but Gaza hospitals are facing an impossible choice with the Israel evacuation order. They can't evacuate the thousands of people who are crowding the hospitals because they've been hit by the airstrikes. And so to continue to put out statements that only mention Israel is to be pro-genocide, is to not care about Palestinian life. And I am absolutely disgusted that the union I have been, that I have been fighting on behalf of, along with thousands of others, would put out a statement like this. Listen, no surprise, if I'm going to be honest, but I've had the chance to speak with a number of our Jewish colleagues over the past few days about the horrific terrorist attacks carried out by Hamas in Israel, and I want to reach out to this group directly to express my shock and sadness, said Iger's member. By the way, Disney just is giving $1 million in aid to Israel as we speak. And this is why, like, as hard as it is, knowing the consequences that you will face being pro-Palestine, like, holy shit. This is the reality. You have the mainstream media. You have the United States and all of its major, you know, rich as fuck corporations like Disney. You have celebrity, like all of these people who are only speaking on behalf of Israel. Yeah, Disney, I think this was from, oh, I'm sorry, 2 million. My bad. $2 million. Disney donates $2 million to Israel humanitarian relief following Hamas attack. Sorry. Got that wrong. In the wake of the horrific terrorist attacks targeting Jews in Israel this past weekend, we must do all we can to support the innocent people experiencing so much pain, violence, and uncertainty, particularly children. How do you say that and not recognize that that exact thing disproportionately is happening to Palestine right now? Israel already gets $3 billion a year from the U.S. Yeah, well, you know. On Friday, Comcast also committed $2 million to aid the humanitarian efforts unfolding in Israel and the Middle East. Okay. Yeah. Also, I know a lot of you know because you've been a part of the fundraiser, but linked at the top is Hassan's Tiltify charity link to provide humanitarian care to Palestinians. So if you're not aware, or maybe you haven't had a chance to donate, if you wanted to, the link is there. It will be pinned there for the remainder of the stream and as long as the fundraiser is going. Yeah, I want to shout out Kalani real quickly because we have seen the majority of celebrities just be downright fucking ignorant. They have no idea what they're posting about when they post in support of Israel. Like, actually, before we get to Kehlani, who is a goddamn queen, here was Sierra's statement from yesterday. Yesterday, okay? We're not talking October 7th, when Hamas first attacked Israel and killed civilians. We're talking about yesterday. In the midst of a humanitarian crisis, as Gazans in the north of Gaza are attempting to evacuate to avoid just being, being airstriked, even though that's happening to them as they try to leave because there's no safe passage for them. There's nowhere safe for them to go. Yes. Civilians who are being killed as they are trying to evacuate, who are taking refuge in places that are then being bombed. So Sierra, like, I know at this point it's so useless to even point to the insanity of these celeb posts, but holy shit, this is how powerful the propaganda is. Sierra obviously doesn't know what the fuck is going on. She just sees what she sees from other celebs if she watches any mainstream media. And this is what she concludes. As I laid my head down on my pillow to go to sleep last night, I had a heavy heart and water-filled eyes. First of all, the fuck? Water-filled eyes? Tears? Water-filled eyes, my god. This is why you're not coming out with songs anymore, with hits anymore, because those are the lyrics that you're writing. Water-filled eyes. Seeing what's happening in Israel is truly heartbreaking. I will never understand someone maliciously attacking innocent people. I can't imagine the feelings of families or parents that are losing their loved ones. My heart goes out to everyone that's being impacted by what's happening. I'm with you, and all the other innocent lives that are being impacted by such cruel-hearted people. She has water-filled eyes because Russ is washed. Is that a football diss? Okay, so let's take a look at Kalani, who was at a pro-Palestine rally in LA.
I don't think it's a complicated situation at all. I think it's black and white, and you have a choice to see it or not, and I hope you see it. And the people who have families who are going through this and people who are there, I want all my followers and my peers to stand on the right side of history. I want them.
Sorry, is that really loud? Let me sorry.
To make a decision that is larger than them. I want them to make an unselfish one. I want them to make an obvious one, and I just hope that they choose to.
Sorry, guys. It had to be very loud because there's not that many celebrities who are doing this. I'm sorry. I had to blast your eardrums. No, that was accidental. I have serious issues with audio control. My bad.
Just do the right thing. I'm gonna keep reiterating that it's not that complicated of a decision to make. Just do the right thing. Free Palestine till it's backward. I don't think it's a complicated.
I'm sorry, y'all. If you're new to the stream, that happens at least once a stream. Amazing oh, John Cusack posted something. Yeah, Kalani is amazing. Shout out to her. Straight up. John Cusack. I was at the Palestinian March in Chicago. I'll tell you what I didn't hear. I didn't hear death to Israel. I didn't hear death to Jews. I didn't hear people celebrating the murders of Israeli civilians. What I did hear is, we must free Palestine from a brutal occupation, people concerned for their loved ones in a hell zone, stuck without food, water, and power. Deep anguish over people being told to leave and bombed as they left. I heard people share personal accounts of family members who have been jailed, humiliated, harassed, persecuted, targeted, and killed for generations. Family members that have been hit with tear gas for no reason, and they go on with similar stories about occupied life. Young men, women, and children whose entire families have been wiped out, who are now alone, angry, humiliated, and denied basic human rights, and have come to the place where they would rather die fighting than stay imprisoned or murdered, knowing that if you try to defend yourself or your family, you're by default labeled a terrorist. That's how it is there. They say these things as realities they continue to live through. Palestinian civilians didn't ask for a massacre. They know the military might of their occupiers. They know they stand no chance. I asked one man, does he support Hamas? He looked at me, sighed, and shook his head. If you're there, what choice do you have? This was the grim, sober truth for him. I realized my moral litmus test without historical context is, given the realities of the situation, meaningless. Hope more people read. Glad people are sharing this despite Musk. Yeah. Thank God for this. Again, y'all, it's so rare to have celebrities right now who are saying anything close to this, who are trying to even understand, like, what is Palestine? Who are Palestinians? So to have Johnny Boy do this, Johnny, who is he is a beloved figure in Chicago, which is my hometown. He's been this way for years. Yes. This is a really, really, really big deal. I was there too. I completely agree with his account of what happened there. So much love and support for Palestine. Door Cushion, thank you for the 2 months. Yeah. So like again, y'all, this is the majority. The overwhelming majority of people who are supporting Palestine and who are pro-liberation of Palestinians, okay? And if you, in response to any stuff like this, if all you do is pull up like a clip of some random person who says something like death to Jews, death to Israel, which is a horrific thing. But if you use that as your litmus test, as your gauge for whether or not you should support Palestine, then you never wanted to in the first place. And it's the same thing with someone like me, where if I stumble in an attempt to talk about this, to advocate for liberation, if I stumble in my words or, in my knowledge, but I remain steadfast on my belief that oppressed people should be freed, then you never cared about them in the first place. You never wanted that in the first place. All you want is to be right in your own sick mind. And what you're also doing is ignoring the other side as well. You're ignoring the videos of Zionists tear gassing people at these pro-Palestine rallies. You're ignoring, and I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, but I have to show this story very briefly. You're ignoring stuff like this. This little boy. This little boy in Chicago, in my hometown, who was stabbed to death. Who was stabbed to death because of anti-Muslim rhetoric. We are living through the past, what happened after 9/11. And the thing is that a lot of us were too young to remember it, unless you were a brown person in this country and that was your exact experience. 26 times, yes, he was stabbed. It is post 9/11 all over again, when Islamophobia and anti-Muslim rhetoric and language, propaganda was utilized to dehumanize all of these people, to justify violence against them. And a lot of us were too young to remember, maybe we weren't born yet. But that is what happened after 9/11. And it was a way, and it was done by our government and by powers around the world, just like we're doing with Israel. It was done in order to justify the U.S. going into Iraq and bombing the fucking shit out of Baghdad and other areas. And killing hundreds of thousands of civilians. Because for people who were living in the U.S., who were buying into this, they did not stop for a second to think that that was wrong, because they were so blinded by their own hate, by their own fears. And so not only did they support the U.S., in indiscriminately killing hundreds of thousands of innocent civilians, but they also took it upon themselves to turn around and do that to people in their own lives. This is exactly what's happening again. Stoking people's fears. Because this is how powerful nations get away with war crimes. This is how they get away with murdering children. Okay, let's go. Sorry, I have a lot of tabs open right now. Okay, so here is in Chicago. This was a 15,000 strong protest. We believe that we will win. We believe that we will win. We believe that we will Here is New York City. Here's Los Angeles. San Francisco. Washington, D.C.
Thousands take the streets of Washington, D.C. October 14th, 2023. Tens of thousands take the streets of Washington right here in front of the White House. Right as we come emerge to the White House, everybody's demanding an end to the siege on Gaza, a ceasefire immediately.
Kansas City. Dearborn, Michigan. Seattle. And all over the world too. I know people are like, "Oh, I was at this protest here. This is happening in Mexico."
Occupation. It's not only apartheid or colonization either. What we are witnessing.
This is in Belfast. Israel has, or sorry, Ireland has been one of the strongest and really only countries that we've seen supporting Palestine. Captain Alec, thank you for the tier 1. I also had, I think I had a thread on, let me see if I can find it, on pro-Palestine protests that are happening around the world as well. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. I just like, what I want to do is show you guys, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this, but I want to show you that, I want to show you how powerful this is. That people in this country and around the world are saying enough is enough. And all of our energy, all of our energy right now should be going to this, to calling for the liberation of Palestine, to put an end to all of these atrocities, to the continued loss of civilian life. That is what we should be focusing on right now. This is in London. L British, but W pro-Palestine supporters. This was Lansing, Michigan this week.
Free, free!
Oh, sorry, guys!
Free, free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Listen, I'm just trying to shove it into your brains, okay? I want you, like if you look at the sun, you'll see a spot. I want this to be so loud that the only thing that the only thought in your brain is to free Palestine. This is Liverpool. Palestine! Free Palestine! I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to make y'all deaf. 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Free Palestine! This is Glasgow. This is Manchester. I think it's particularly powerful to see this in the UK because of how pro-Israel the BBC is, and mainstream UK media has been. I mean, God, it's hard to say who's been worse, the US or the UK, and the fact that looking at the history of how Israel came to be, it's not possible without Great Britain. So that's why I like to see all that. Cinna, my love, my darling. Thank you so much for the raid. Hi everybody. Hi everyone, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. UK just keeping tradition. They were the first to try and ethnic cleanse Palestinians. Oh yeah. So that's why to see people who live in the UK being like, fuck you to the UK is awesome. Amazing. Shout out to Cinna. Cinna and I had a great time this weekend. She is amazing, and every time I get to spend time with her is time well spent. And to anybody who's just getting in here, we are doing some continued Palestine and Israel coverage. I'm going through various protests throughout the United States and the world of people who are vocalizing their support for the liberation of Palestine, a population of people who have been suffering under an apartheid regime and who have been living under occupation for decades and have had their freedom taken from them. So we're going through that, and then afterwards we are going to we're going to watch something to decompress. Sundays are usually my dinner and a movie streams where I take the day off from the normal news coverage that I do, but given the events of this week, as they continue to unfold through the weekend, I have been using my platform here to talk about this and to bring this to you all. Thank you, Caroline, for working hard on covering all this and helping fundraise for the people there. Of course, and that reminds me that linked at the top is a Tiltify fundraiser link that Hassan Abi has been leading the charge on, and I believe they've raised almost 600,000, maybe over. So if you are interested in donating, if you have the funds to do so, that is a place that you can do that, and it has been vetted. Jesus, we're at 650,000. 670,000. Criminy. It was 680 when Hassan ended. Incredible. Considering that companies like Disney are sending $2 million, have sent $2 million to Israel to assist them in their continued airstrikes on the civilians in Gaza as they are trying to flee for their lives. We need all the support that we can get to provide these people humanitarian aid. They do not have electricity, water, food, safety, shelter, anything. It has been taken away by Israel, who controls the Gaza Strip through their blockades. And so, we are talking about 2.2 million people, almost half of whom are children, who are trapped in a box being bombed, and they don't have the basic necessities that they need in the first place. Damn, Disney went, yes. And that's just Disney, right? That's that's just one corporation, not to mention our own fucking government that funds Israel to the tune of billions of dollars a year, who are continuing to send weapons and other forms of aid to the Israeli government. And to anybody who is new in here, I'm not gonna do I'm not gonna go back through the history like I have this week, but I do always want to clarify for anybody who is just now learning about this that when we denounce Israel and when we denounce what the state of Israel is doing and the Israeli government, we are not talking about Jews as a whole. We are not being anti-Semitic here. And in fact, to conflate Zionism, which is the Jewish national movement, that was what led to the creation of Israel in 1948 and the displacement of Palestinians. To conflate Zionism with Judaism is wrong, and there are many Jews in Israel and around the world who protest against their government and against the actions of Israel and against Zionism as a movement. So Zionism is separate from Judaism, despite what Zionists will try and have you believe by saying that Zionism is Judaism. It is in fact not. And being anti-Zionist does not mean you are anti-Semitic, and to be pro-Palestine does not mean that you are anti-Semitic. We do not support any nation whose intentions and actions are those of oppressing anybody. And in this case, for decades, Israel has operated an apartheid regime against Palestine. In Gaza, they have been cut off from the world since 2007. And these are, they live in just inhumane conditions already prior to the events of this week, where now they are facing, they are just facing an incredibly dangerous situation where civilians and places like hospitals and schools and residential buildings are being bombed at will by Israel as a way to root out Hamas, but in reality is just collective punishment, is just enacting Israel's bloodthirsty will upon many, many, many innocent people in Gaza. There are plenty of pro-Palestine Jews, me included. Yes, plenty of pro-Palestine Jews who do not, who are so angry at their government and at Zionists for utilizing things like the Holocaust, for utilizing anti-Semitism as a way to justify the oppression and continued occupation of Palestinians, to justify the war crimes that that they are committing here. And that's why, like, actually Zionism Zionism is in being white supremacy is anti-Semitic because of the history of persecution that Jews have faced in the name of white supremacy. It's disgusting it's disgusting for that to be now used as a way to justify war crimes against Palestinian civilians. My Jewish wife refuses to recognize Zionists as Jews. Absolutely. A lot of Jews, like I said, we've been looking at protests. There have been Jewish-specific protests, especially in places like Brooklyn and other areas of New York where there are heavy Jewish populations who are outraged and disgusted to see the government of Israel, the leaders of Israel, use the Jewish name as a and Jewish identity to justify the war crimes being committed. Zionism is anti-Semitic because it claims that Jews need to live alone in an ethno-state. Yes, that is the that has been the goal of Israel, is to create an ethno-state where Jewish identity reigns supreme. And that is why Israeli leaders like Benjamin Netanyahu have always been against
refugee here, spreading the love to those who are forgotten and those who strive to fight on for their freedom. Free Palestine.
Yes.
I will chant until they're free.
133, thank you so much for the 2 months. You don't even need to be Jewish to be a Zionist. Oh, yeah. There are a lot of white evangelicals who subscribe to Zionism because they believe that in Israel possessing all of Jerusalem, it will bring about the second coming of Christ. So there are many people who are not Jewish who ascribe to Zionism and who are pro-Israel because of their their own because of their own hatred of Arabs and Muslims. Okay, let's keep going through this. This is Bristol. I'm just going to show a few more. Michigan, thank you for the prime. Someone gets enough money, can fight in the good fight. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much. You guys, thank you again. Anyone who has subbed, I'm sorry if I haven't called you out, but I appreciate you. This is Edinburgh.
Facebook, they're trying to delete every material that
So yeah, I mean, this just Sydney, Australia. Massive one in Norway.
أنا لأهلي أنا فديهم أنا دمي فلسطيني 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 أنا دمي فلسطيني على عهدي على ديني على أرض تلاقيني أنا لأهلي أنا فديهم أنا دمي فلسطيني 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 أنا دمي
And then yeah, this I know. I said Edinburgh. It's Edinburgh. It's Edinburgh. Sorry. Sorry to all my Scots. I read it as written, and I know that you guys are like, it's Edinburgh. 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 Whatever. Edinburgh. You know what? We're going to call it Edinburgh. 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 Okay, let's keep going with the coverage here. All right, so I think this is something that I want to cover with y'all, because the reason why we're calling this a genocide is not just by the definition of genocide. It's the fact that, you know, you might look at how many have died thus far, which is over 2,000, I believe, and go, 2.2 million Gazans, and you guys are saying a couple thousand is a genocide. First of all, it's the intent. It's the intent of of the Israeli, of Israel right now. You have to look at the intent in attacking the Gaza Strip. And by definition, the actions that they are taking qualifies as genocide. But also the fact that the numbers that have been reported so far, which like, I thousands who have died. And I'm sorry, I'm so tired. If you try to go, oh well, that's not a genocide. My God, okay. There are stages of a genocide. You don't have to kill everybody at once, but there are thousands of people who are in these hospitals that have no way to be evacuated. So the death toll, as great as it is right now, as horrific as it is right now, is only going to keep going up. You have to remember our own domestic chuds have and are continuing to say COVID-19 is a lie, is a joke, regardless of knowing 1 million plus have died. Yeah. Lord to Basil, thank you for the 5 months. Mass displacement also considered a genocide. Yes. It's wild to have to it's wild to have to fight with people over words like that, you know, when what that does is you know, people who are so obsessed with language and fighting you on the words that you use. And it's like, all right, well, here's the fucking reality here. Yeah, you want to fight over semantics? You want to fight? Is that going to change anything here? Is fighting over semantics going to change the fact that thousands have been killed and many thousands more are going to die? It's so dumb, I know. So hospitals in Gaza City said that they have no way to evacuate thousands of sick and injured patients. As Israel called for Gazans to leave the north of the besieged enclave, hospitals in Gaza City said they had no way to evacuate thousands of sick and injured patients and that there were not enough hospitals to treat them in the south. With a widely anticipated ground invasion looming, the city's hospitals continued to receive hundreds of victims wounded by Israeli airstrikes that have pummeled the Palestinian territory for the past week. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have fled south, but nowhere is safe across the Gaza Strip, and a fast-growing humanitarian crisis has erupted as a result of Israel blocking food, water, and fuel from entering the territory. Nearly half of Gaza's population of more than 2 million has been displaced over the past week. At Al-Shifa Hospital, the Gaza Strip's largest medical complex, the wounded were still streaming in Sunday. Moving them elsewhere was logistically impossible. It's absolutely, its director said, it's absolutely impossible to evacuate the hospital, said its director. There is nowhere in Gaza they can accept the number of patients in our intensive care unit or neonatal intensive care unit or even the operating rooms. At the hospital, 70 patients are on ventilators, 200 are receiving dialysis treatment, and many babies are in incubators, he said. If someone doesn't die from the bombardment, then he'll die from the lack of medical service. Transporting critically wounded patients, too, was a challenge. There are also not enough ambulances. And on top of that, multiple ambulances, I'm sorry, it actually says it right here, 15 ambulances have been bombed and destroyed since last Saturday. Like, there's already a shortage. There's a shortage because all of this aid is being withheld to Gaza. And the fact that, like, prior to these airstrikes, prior to the events this week, all, you know, food and medicine and power and supplies was already limited because of the blockades that have been in place since 2007. So over the past week, at least 15 ambulances have been bombed and destroyed, the Gazan Health Ministry said. Israel launched its airstrikes in Gaza after Hamas, the group that controls Gaza, staged a surprise attack on southern Israel that killed more than 1,300 people. On Saturday, the World Health Organization condemned Israel's calls for 22 hospitals in northern Gaza to be evacuated and called it a death sentence for the sick and wounded. The organization said there are about 2,000 desperately ill patients inside the hospital wards under evacuation orders, including those in intensive care or on life support, including newborn babies and incubators. As a result of the Israeli assault, Gaza's hospitals are operating beyond maximum capacity, with some patients treated in corridors and outdoors and surrounding streets, the WHO said. Did you see the story about 40 families being completely wiped out? Yes. And when we talk about families, you know, a lot of Arabs have been wanting to stress this, that we're not talking about like, you know, a family of 4. These are, you know, these are enormous amounts of people whose entire lineage is being wiped out. I think it's up to 45. But Caroline, those were Hamas bombs. I know, but Caroline, it's maybe Hamas should stop using them as human shields. But Caroline, yeah, all right. Okay, wait, why is this not going? Sorry. Blindness here. I don't know why this is not going dark mode. As Israel intensified airstrikes in the Hamas-controlled Gaza Strip and told residents to move south towards the border with Egypt, some, like father of 6, Fadi Dalul, thought that would be a safe option and gathered up his belongings. Palestinians are desperate to find a safe hiding place as the Israeli military prepares for what is expected to be a ground offensive in Gaza, accompanied by relentless airstrikes. Yeah, I don't know why this is not going dark mode. Sorry. Israel has already unleashed the fiercest bombing ever on the impoverished, narrow Gaza, one of the most densely populated areas in the world. As has been repeated by a lot of people, Israel has dropped more bombs in the past week on Gaza, an area that is the size, the land mass equivalent of Detroit, but with about 4 times the population. They've dropped more bombs than we did on Afghanistan in one entire year. That is how unrelenting this has been. Eva, thank you for the 5 months. The journey to the south is also fraught with risks. Okay, so let me explain why I'm going over this. Israel has said that people in North Gaza, which is about 1.1 million folks, whatever, that they want them to evacuate to southern Gaza, and yet we have been screaming about how this is impossible because of the fact that they have no supplies, that the major roads have all been bombed, that South Gaza itself is not safe. The journey to the south is fraught with risks as Israel hits back at Hamas after the Palestinian militant group launched a surprise attack on Israel, the bloodiest since the 1973 Arab-Israeli War. Israel has already unleashed the fiercest bombing ever on the impoverished, narrow Gaza, one of the most densely populated areas in the world. And far worse is expected, prompting residents to seek safe shelter. They cannot travel safely on the streets that have already been destroyed. Maple Takes, thank you for the raid. Many Gazans have also refused to leave their homes for the south, fearing a repeat of the Nakba, or catastrophe, when many Palestinians fled or were forced from their homes during the 1948 war that accompanied Israel's creation. So this is a piece of very important history that I have repeated numerous times this week. In 1948, over 750,000 Palestinians were displaced, turned into refugees for the last 75 years. The refugees who live in Gaza come from about 250 villages that were displaced from during this time, and it is what led to the founding of Israel, the creation of Israel, and having Israel be officially recognized as a state. Half the Arab population of what was British-ruled Palestine were dispossessed and displaced, many spilling into neighboring Arab states where they or many of their descendants remain. Many still live in refugee camps. Israel contests the assertion that it drove Palestinians out, saying that it was attacked by 5 Arab states after its creation. For Dalul, the priority is the survival of his family as Israeli airstrikes flatten buildings in Gaza, blockaded by both Israel and Egypt, as a humanitarian crisis unfolds and hospitals run low on stocks of medicines. DeConti, thank you for the tier 1. We live under stress. We didn't monitor this thing before. It's huge. It's a huge threat. Children, as you see, where should we take them, he said. Especially when we left our house, we saw on the way people burnt and hit by airstrikes. Thank God we are safe and we reached the south. The Israeli military was not immediately available for comment. Hamas has told people not to leave and says that roads out there are unsafe. It says dozens of people were killed in strikes on cars and trucks carrying refugees on Friday. Okay, so let's go over here. And
You have to.
Okay, it's really tough, but that's why I wanted to show you guys all these protests that are happening here and around the world of people who are using their voices to try and stop this, to advocate for Palestine to be free. So I think that's one way to help to help you from falling into complete despair, to know that you are not alone. You are not alone in protesting the atrocities by the IDF and Israel. That there are people all over the world who are collectively coming together to say enough is enough, to call out Israel for what they are, a violent apartheid regime engaging in genocidal war crimes. Unless I missed something, isn't it reasonable to think the hostages are dying at risk of dying from Israel's bombings? Yes. Yes. Anybody who is in Gaza, make no mistake, anyone who is in Gaza, Israeli hostages, Palestinians, journalists, medics, Americans, anybody in Gaza is being subjected to nonstop bombing. They are being killed indiscriminately. They are all just collateral. And it's why Netanyahu's favorability is so low. It's why so many Israelis, so many Jews living in Israel are so angry at him. Because it is so clear that this was never about Israeli civilians. He has an 85% disapproval rate. This is why Israeli government officials keep parroting the line about human shield, etc., so they can blame. Yes. If you say to them, you are bombing your own people, you know, the hostages that have been taken, anybody who's in Gaza is being bombed right now, and they'll go, well, that's because of Hamas. You guys are the ones dropping the fucking bombs. You are the ones who are choosing to attack all of Gaza, to bomb the living shit out of the entirety of Gaza. Why did you take down the VOD of the Nick Millian and Wake stream? Is only an hour in and it's not on your channel? Yeah, so I had to temporarily take it down as I was facing some very scary harassment that was coming from every inch of the internet. Like I said, people were trying to find me on LinkedIn to tell me to fucking kill myself because I'm a terrorist. So for my mental health, and because I in combination of not having been able to sleep much this week, I temporarily removed it so that I could, you know, kind of just get myself together. It was a decision that I felt very torn on, but at the time being needed to prioritize my mental health. And I don't want to draw a lot of attention to this, but those of you who've been in the community, you know, like what happened to me in the summer. So there's good reason why I do fear for my safety, and yeah. So anyway, that's why, and I'm sorry if you were in the middle of watching it. I'm still deciding like how I'm gonna proceed here, because I hate to be I hate to have that coverage be lost to many people who it would be informative to. But anyway, yeah. Is there anything we can do? What I would say for you guys is to just keep, if you can, and I don't want you to feel pressured into supporting publicly, especially if your name and your profile are on Twitter. Like if you're, you know, if people can find who you are easily. I don't want to pressure you into supporting on places like Twitter, but if
Anomalous_Daniel donated $5. My own brother, who is nominally on the left,
hold on a sec, let me I'll continue in a moment.
Still believes the human shield
Yeah.
lies and believes protesters worldwide are supporting Hamas. Thank you for speaking about this despite the
thank you, Anomalous Daniel. Yeah, listen, what's crazy is that so much of the harassment is coming from supposed leftists who I don't know. Oh shit, what did I just do? I just clicked something. No, I meant, can we do anything to stop the harassment and the shit you face? Right. That's what I'm addressing right now. It is always helpful to have the backing of, of you all in chat and on Twitter, when I do share information, because there's power in numbers, right? But that being said, if you're not in, if you're not able to do that, I do not want you to feel pressure to voice that support publicly, because I understand very, very well the harassment and the threats to your own safety that you will face. So I would just say that if you are, if you have been publicly speaking out about it, please keep doing so, because the numbers, the numbers help for us all to stand together and to collectively denounce this. But otherwise, you do need to, unfortunately, you do need to care for your own safety and also your own mental health, because we do have to care for our physical and mental well-being in order to keep fighting the good fight. I'll share anything publicly. What are they? Yeah. Outside of Twitter, people who go out can also wear masks and long sleeves to cover tattoos. It's a good reminder. Yes. This is a very good way to try and keep yourself safe. A lot of people did this during the BLM protests, but if you are going out and supporting Palestine at one of these protests, it is smart to try and hide your identity, because people are looking. They are looking to, they are looking to harm your job, your safety, etc. They are not interested. They are not interested in liberation of any people. They are only interested in harming those who do advocate for freedom. So it really is something where I'm not being dramatic here when I say please stay safe, everyone, as you continue to advocate for Palestine. It's very important. Okay. All right. Well, covering this because I did say that we would get to movie night, and I want to be able to have time afterwards to decompress. So just a little bit more here. I want to tell you guys something too that I forgot to say at the beginning of stream, but is dark but also funny. So I was in the shower before I started streaming, and I decided to wash my hair as an act of self-care. But anyway, I hear Will yelling my name, and I hear him running in from the other room, and he's yelling my name, and I of course panicked, of course, given everything I've told you and everything I haven't told you. Yeah, I was panicking. And he rushes into the bathroom and he's like, Carol, oh my God, you won't believe it. And I'm having a fucking heart attack in the shower. And I'm like, what's going on? What happened? Like, what's happened? Like, and he goes, the Jets fucking, sucking dicks. What's his name? The quarterback, the mother, the fucker of mothers. They just took a shit all over the Eagles. Yeah. Zach Wilson, MILF lover. This man, knowing how the emotional state that I am in right now, the many conversations that we've had, he's screaming my name, running into the bathroom, pounding on the shower door to tell me that the Jets beat the Eagles. Like, he couldn't have just come in and been like, oh my God, the Jets just beat the Eagles. Hell yeah. No, he came in like a maniac. He came in like the apartment was on fire. To be fair, the Jets don't get many wins like that. Yes. And he saw me like backed against the shower wall, fear in my face. And he's like, It was a huge win though. I will listen, okay? Once I was able to calm down, I was like, that's a big W. That's a spot of bright news. Yeah, he's got straight up golden retriever energy. Uh-huh. Yeah, he was so excited to be able to share good news. I said to him, I was like, for the 1000th time, please know that whenever I hear you screaming, especially right now, my assumption is that something bad has just happened. I need you to understand that, okay? I need you to know that I am on fucking edge. So you need to be aware of that. Just for my own sake. And at the same time, go Jets. It's hard for me to keep up with Hassan's coverage because I'm not well versed in politics and English is not my language. So I was absolutely loving your stream with Nick and Milena. It's horrible you had to take it down, but it's understandable. Mental health comes first. Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm still considering what to do with the VOD because I want people to have access to it. Okay, so I want to just read this really quickly because this is a slogan that is repeated in being, pro-Palestinian from the river to the sea. And now this has been taken and twisted and turned into an anti-Semitic slogan, one that calls for exterminating Jewish people, or one that says that, like, in order for Palestinians to have lands from the river to the sea, then Jewish people will be wiped out. And, like, that's not what this is at all. So the much maligned slogan, resist the fragmentation of Palestinian land and a people by Israeli occupation and discrimination. From the river to the sea is a rejoinder to the fragmentation of Palestinian land and people by Israeli occupation and discrimination. Palestinians have been divided in a myriad of ways by Israeli policy. There are Palestinian refugees denied repatriation because of discriminatory Israeli laws. There are Palestinians denied equal rights living within Israel's internationally recognized territory as second-class citizens. There are Palestinians living with no citizenship rights under Israeli military occupation in the West Bank. There are Palestinians in legal limbo in occupied Jerusalem and facing expulsion. There are Palestinians in Gaza living under an Israeli siege. All of them suffer from a range of policies in a singular system of discrimination and apartheid, a system that can only be challenged by their unified opposition. All of them have a right to live freely in the land from the river to the sea. But it is precisely because Zionist settler colonialism has benefited from and pursued Palestinian fragmentation that it seeks to mischaracterize and destroy inclusive and unifying rhetorical frameworks. For example, journalist Mark Lamont Hill, who major shout out to Mark Lamont Hill, who was fired from CNN for being pro-Palestine. He was attacked and ultimately removed from his position at CNN for calling for Palestinian freedom from the river to the sea. After all, it is far easier to dominate a divided people fighting different battles on different fronts than it is to dominate one people united in a single battle for the same universal rights. That's why, honestly, at this point, where we are at, we are 8 days in, and witnessing a genocide of an oppressed population, and people are still trying to argue semantics. They are still trying to but Hamas you. They are still trying to get you to keep denouncing the civilian lives that were lost on the Israeli side. And we are like, this is a waste of time now. We need to be absolutely united on being pro-Palestine to put an end to all of this, to stop the continuation of violence of civilian deaths. We have to be united in Palestinian freedom from the river to the sea, for precisely what I just read in this passage here. And I think Kat, where is the clip? Kat Abu, she's amazing. Abu, she explains this perfectly. This never ending having to condemn Hamas before you say anything, and even when you do it, and then try to advocate for Palestinian liberation, like it's still
every Palestinian
they don't want to hear
person if they condemn Hamas. I have been asked this question. It's time to stop asking every Palestinian person if they condemn Hamas.
Yeah, and at this point too, not just Palestinian people, but anybody who is advocating for Palestine.
I have been asked this question hundreds of times in the last week, and my first instinct is to say, of course, I don't support Hamas. But the answer isn't that simple, because the question is unbelievably insulting. People who I respected and who I thought respected me have asked if I support the rape and murder of civilians, as if the race or religion of a victim would make me feel differently. Over the last week, I've been asked if I condemn Hamas, ISIS, jihadis, beheading children, raping women, and just general slaughter. And here's the kicker: it doesn't matter how I respond, because there will always be something else to add to the list. I even had someone tell me that they check my tweets every day to see what I've condemned, as if I should have an atrocity stock ticker that updates in real time.
Yeah, I have so many people who are taking everything that I have said and being like, yeah, well, if you look at the order of your tweets, the reason why you have lost all credibility and the reason why we believe that you are in fact a terrorist supporter is based on the tweets that you made and the order of the tweets, and that you didn't condemn Hamas first and foremost. And it's like, yeah, because unlike you, I think that goes without saying. Unlike you, I think that the deaths of civilians is something that, yeah, duh, we are against. It is illegal. It is immoral. I didn't know that I had to like make that clear, because I'm a normal fucking person who believes that all civilian life is precious. The fuck is wrong with you? Like, do you not understand? Like, do you not get why normal people who have empathy and humanity and care about all people around the world, why that goes without saying? And why what we're trying to get at is that we need this to stop. And it won't stop until you free Palestine.
And it's not just me. Every Arab is going through this. People who are grieving.
Are there people who you work with, were friends with, that came up to you privately, or is it mostly freaks and you hate? I know that there are people who I am friends with who have unfollowed me, who I know are not saying anything directly to me, but that they feel betrayed by my stance on being pro-Palestine. Like, I am aware of that. And on the reverse, I've been really heartbroken to see how many of my friends who have been staunchly voicing their support of Israel refuse to acknowledge Palestinians, refuse to acknowledge the disproportionate amount of violence that Palestinians have faced because they have been displaced and occupied going back decades. Like, that's why at this point I go, you know what? I have made it a point now, even though it goes without saying, to obviously condemn acts of terrorism. But that includes the IDF. That includes Israel's government. They are a terrorist government with a terrorist military group. And yet, those who think that I'm in the wrong, friends of mine or, mutual acquaintances, continue to only speak about Israeli life and to say that anybody who is You know, anybody who is not just speaking about Israeli life is anti-Semitic and wants to see Jews dead.
Grieving their entire family. Not just me. Every Arab is going through this. People who are grieving their entire family are being offered condolences and then asked if they condemn Hamas in the next breath. So please, just think about what you're saying when you ask someone if they support or condemn Hamas. Because expressing grief for an ethnic cleansing isn't an endorsement of terrorism, and being exasperated at ignorance and racism and a systemic attack against your entire people isn't support for Hamas. And if you still think otherwise, ask yourself why. But fair warning, I don't think you'll like the answer.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of those people won't ask themselves why because they don't care. But do you condemn? Yeah, so all right, y'all. Let's stop there for now. Fucking Paramount. Actually before we stop there and move on to the decompressing part of the stream, I think maybe some of you have been made aware of Zachary Foster, but he is a really great person to follow. He's a literal historian. So if you are in the chat, and I know it's a minority, but if you're in the chat or you're going to be watching clips of this and you think that I'm a fucking dumbass who doesn't know anything, here's a historian, okay? Here's a literal historian for you who has been saying, of course, many of the same things that I and others who you deem to be fucking idiots are saying. So there's an actual historian, somebody with a PhD for you, okay? And that's just one of many. Zach is amazing. He has been really breaking down a lot of this, and let's just finish with this little vid here.
Media literacy lesson. Hi, let's do.
This is not him, but this is a video that he has shared.
Lesson.
Yeah, they'll shit on it because he's a Palestinian. Like, okay, Norm Finkelstein, Noam Chomsky. Like, there are so many Jewish people who you could also then look to. And if you don't trust my words, if you think that I'm just some dumbass streamer who doesn't know jack shit, like, fine. Then what do you have to say? What do you have to say about both Israeli and Israeli journalists and historians, people who live in Israel now, as well as American Jews and Jews abroad, who are saying the same fucking shit, who I have been getting a lot of my information from, as well as Palestinian historians, journalists, authors, etc. Okay? Like, I'm not getting this information out of thin air. I am not just making up these things that I have been sharing. I have been compiling my information from people who have literal PhDs. So if that's not enough for you, then like I said, from here to every corner of the earth, go fuck yourself. Michael, thank you for the bits. Okay.
Controls the NHS, the UK.
Yeah, no one will be educated or credible.
The French Department of Health, French government. You get the point. So let's ask ourselves a question.
Yes.
Why is it that when mainstream news networks are referring to hospitals or schools in the Gaza Strip, they will often say Hamas run? Regardless of what you may think of it, Hamas is...
Oh my goodness, Shrillvester, thank you for the 10. Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone who has been supporting.
And so logically, the Ministry of Health would be under its jurisdiction. Phrases like Hamas run and Hamas controlled are irrelevant, but they are designed to feed on your bias. You then start to become apathetic to these patients that lie sick in those hospitals.
Yep.
You dehumanize them and you think of them as less worthy victims. Such phrases cast doubt on the data coming out of these institutions, and they portray these institutions not as medical institutions run by healthcare professionals, but rather scary, untrustworthy institutions run by savages. When it comes to Israeli death, a journalist can just say X amount of Israelis have been confirmed killed. As for Palestinian death, the sentence will become the Hamas-run Ministry of Health in Gaza says that X amount of Palestinians have died. This is one of the many ways totalitarianism operates within Western media to dehumanize Palestinians. But remember, a hospital is a hospital. Language is a minefield. It has significant influence on how we think and what we believe.
Yes.
But remember to be critical. You do not have to be complicit in genocide. All right, let's do...
Yeah, you do not have to be complicit in genocide, and you should do everything in your power to be anti-genocide. Okay? We are, it goes without saying that we should always be against genocide. Period. Great summary of what's going on between. Yeah, I have a lot more for us, but I am going to press pause there. Okay. I of course will be back tomorrow, and I am going to try this week to cover additional news on top of this. But it's just hard to, it's hard not to give this the attention that it so desperately needs, and has been so desperately lacking for so long. Hogan, thank you for the gifted. Not a good time, but the podcast was amazing. Hey, listen, it's always a good time for that, okay? Because I would rather that than you being like, you fucking terrorist. All right, so yes, in conclusion, genocide is bad and we should always speak out against it. And oppression is bad and we should always speak out against it. Apartheid is bad, we should always speak out against it and fight for the liberation of any person who is oppressed anywhere in this world. Okay? All right, let's figure out what we're gonna watch. Remember, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. It bears repeating. MLK. Martin Luther King Jr. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Just always live by that. Say it louder for the people in the back. Yeah, I wish if I had a megaphone. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice. All right, so I'm looking here. I'm looking here to see to see what we have. No one is free when others, yes. No one is free when others are oppressed and not free. So I had promised that we would be doing Spooktober for movie nights this month. I am not really in a mood to watch anything or show you guys anything that is horrific, I guess. So, couple options. Week Shrek 2, I know. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, that means we can't watch Shrek 2. So I'm looking at free movies on YouTube. They have Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, which is in keeping with Spooktober, but is incredibly campy. And Elvira is a queen. We can also just watch Kitchen Nightmares or Hotel Hell. We can, let's see what else. I think Kung Fu Panda. Like, if we just want to go that direction. Tucker and Dale versus, no, it's not on YouTube. Halloween Town is on loop. Hold on, let me see. No, I will not watch Halloween Town because it's on Disney Plus. Okay. No. I'm not fucking with Disney or with Netflix or any of those. Okay, so let me just start off by this. Oh, I just typed raid. Let's do a poll so I can have you guys. Usually I pick, but because I just am I just have not. Today is a different, is different than we normally